Today I'm at the location of the Sachsenburg concentration camp, which was one of the first concentration camps to be opened in May of 1933, and it was closed in 1937 when Buchenwald was opened and the prisoners from here, which were still here, were transferred to there. At the beginning, this camp was run by the SA, but the SS took over after the night of the long knives, and they introduced a much tougher regime than had been there beforehand. But I think one thing that's very important to bring out is the fact that these concentration camps were not secret. The death camps later were secret. Yes, the Holocaust was secret at the highest security classification, but the camps like this were openly published, and so we can see things in newspapers, for example, saying that, for example, there were amnesties or and people were released for special events such as the New Year or Christmas or something like that. But also there's something here which I'd like to actually show you in a photograph. And the idea of these concentration camps was, to a certain extent, re-education. So you get a pile of communists and social democrats, or people didn't think much of Hitler in general, and they would be re-educated, that's in inverted commas, so to speak. And here in this photograph I'd like to actually show you where we are right now. So there we have the castle at Sachsenburg, which is up there, and here we have this picture, which is the one I really want to show you. And you can see we've got what appears to be something like a car park here. We've got some bicycles there, some railings, but built by the prisoners, Sachsenburg, 1933. The detained, I think is probably a better way of putting that. So, right, and here, this has been renewed since my last visit. So you can see a visit when I was here last time. And you can see there, we've got the sign, which some of the letters were found. Now the water, they had to dig a new ditch to take the water away, and which they did to actually show this up in all its glory. So can you make that one out? There you go. And that's even closer. And some of it had to paint on a little bit, but the letters and numbers which were found have been replaced. And also note this, is that the floor here is the ground level is much higher above than it was. In the photograph, the bicycles, you can see them, they're sort of leaning against the wall, but you just see the tops of them. But now you can see it's much higher than it was then. This has happened since my last visit. So, as I recall, it didn't look like that then. So what's the point of putting this up? This was done in 1933. So I think it's this. It's to say, okay, this is a re-education camp. I'm doing it in inverted commas. It's a concentration camp. But these prisoners have now, they did this themselves. We're announcing to the world that they did this themselves, and therefore they can be considered once more part of the Volksgemeinschaft, the people's community, and that's what they've done there. Of course, this is a bit off the beaten track, but it's not completely off the beaten track. Here, Chemnitz is not all that far away, and it was from Chemnitz that most of the prisoners who ended up in this concentration camp, or a large proportion anyway, ended up here. So I've done a number of other videos on the Sachsenburg concentration camp. I'm now uploading every single day at 2000 hours. That's 2000 hours my time, so I live in Poland and in Germany, and so there's lots on this camp on this channel. I'm a frequent visitor here to the Museum and Documentation Centre. So for the moment, all the best. Bye for now.